right, we should be live. You should be able to see us and hear us. Adventures in Lollygagging, various other wonderful content creators here too. Plug their stuff in a minute. We are playing Things from the Flood tonight, continuing campaign or mystery landscape. It's kind of what it's called. Our own little sandbox that we've been working on for a couple months at this point. We're getting near the end, I think. I think we're closing towards the end of a few storylines here and there, and so I don't know. I don't think we're ending tonight unless you guys decided to do a U-turn and try to jump back over the bridge and then fail the roll. So I think we got maybe 2 or 3 sessions left of this. We'll see.
Wait, that's an option?
Yeah.
It's definitely just put it in reverse at that point.
Yeah, just kick it
Oh,
over.
let's jump it backwards.
Reverse jump. There we go. That's such a good idea, Joe. That's that young brain working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think we have to be oriented this way to make that jump. So.
It's true. You try to do like a 360, like you go up and you turn at the last second and then just do the spin across. You can do that. Cartwheel it.
Tony Hawk shit there,
Yeah. Lots of different things we can do. But before we get started on all of that, I want everyone to say hello, who you're playing. If there's something you like to plug, go right ahead and do it. So we'll just go by the overlay, which means Bert, you are up.
Right. So I'm Bert. I'm playing Edward Rinkin, the computer programmer / drug dealer / not cancer survivor. Not going to survive it. Hey, yeah, I do stuff too. Twitch.tv / Steam Still Murder. There we go.
Awesome. Links are in the chat. And let's move it over. Chuck.
Oh, hi. I'm Chuck. I'm playing Levi, our musician. And yeah, we got a great big, demo of my first tape last session. So I'm glad you all were witness to that.
What was the name of that album? What was the name again, Chuck?
I need to find my notes for that, man. I don't know.
Meet My Meat?
That was one of the songs. That could be a good name for the album. Yeah. Meet My Meats.
I mean, it's the 90s. A lot of bands used to name an album after one of the songs. So that could definitely
That's
work.
true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm also a big fan of the Rug Buffalo and Me, because that's named after Ashley's dog.
Okay.
He's a fucking rug buffalo. Anyway, yeah, you can also find me on Defenders of Cobalt. We stream things there, and we're great. So check it out.
Awesome. And Joe, I was gonna do speaking of rug buffaloes, but I don't know. I'm not really sure what a rug buffalo is yet, so I want to be careful. But anyway, Joe, you're up next.
Yeah. I'm Joe, the Defenders of Cobalt, and I am playing Nicholas Forrester, the man wanted by every law enforcement and adult in like a 30-mile radius, seems like. He is the street kid, and still looking for what happened to his older brother, and not really sure how he's gonna pull through, but we'll figure it out, I guess.
Everything's fine. Oh, look.
Yeah.
Still no command, Chuck. There's still no command. It's a shame. One day, maybe. One day. Do you remember your older brother's name? I'm gonna quiz you like
Brandon.
every session. Brandon. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Bottom row. Melissa.
That's me. I'm Melissa with Adventures in Lollygagging. We are here every other Monday where we're not playing this, we're playing Alien. On Fridays, we do Delta Green, and on Saturdays, we do Worlds Without Number. I think that twin brother Llewellyn kind of took the spotlight last session with the car trickery. And I'm continuing to level up all of my heart-related skills for whatever we might need that for. That's Allison.
Okay. Good deal. Keep it going. Over to Jeremy.
Hi, I'm a giant nerd, and I love playing games with these guys. And I play Llewellyn, who is the meathead of the group. He makes lots of good decisions, such as ramping a bridge, as you do. And I'm a good person.
It's true. It's right there in the chat. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then finally, Dan.
Everybody, Dan with the Defenders. I'm playing our lone wolf, Steven, who took it upon himself to lighten the load of the car last session, which I'm sure paid for one of those successes by bailing out and going lone wolf. We'll see how that works out.
That's
Might not
true.
go well.
Do you remember did we end with you on the other side of the riverbed, or did you actually cross yet?
I was still on the other side,
Okay.
and I recall the information that we got from that was that the lady who owned the radio station showed up and was chewing out like the military people.
That's true. Yeah. I'm
And,
not sure. Did you guys ever catch her name?
Maybe.
You guys were in
Yeah,
her.
I
You guys
don't-
were in her office, so yeah. Like I think so. Manager Phillips or Lois Phillips was the name they were throwing about. She had like a short cropped, like kind of grayish hair, very businesslike, very almost like arm, kind of army cut, very tight cut.
Makes sense because it seems like she's got some
In
rank.
charge.
Yeah. You never actually engaged with her. Like you guys got the hell out of there as fast as you could. Didn't you guys like? Didn't the guy who's high in peyote fall on the hood or something to slow you guys down? Of course he did. Makes perfect sense. All right. So let's see. And then Melissa already touched on our stuff. One thing we should mention, because it's Prime Day, is if you want a sub for this channel or for Bert's channel or for Chuck's channel, now's a good time to do it. As there's a 50% off. Supporting your favorite creators. Now's a really good day if anyone's interested in doing that. All the links are in the chat for both Bert and Chuck's channels, and if you want to sub to us, it's right there on your screen. You should be fine to do it. But let's dive into our game instead of talking more about monetization. So we've been at this. This is like episode 9, I think, or 8, one of those two numbers. And so we are playing in our own custom sandbox, 1992, Southwest U.S., probably like a northwestern Arizona town or something like that, or maybe a southeastern Nevada town. It's fine either way. And I want you all to really feel the 105-degree heat at 7:08 p.m. I really want everyone to just throw some water on their face really fast, turn off your ACs, all those types of things. So you can really Robert De Niro it tonight and really kind of get
a
into
couple jackets and put them on.
Yeah, that'd be good. But it's a weird town where some stuff has been going on for a couple weeks now, or a couple weeks is probably fair at this point. Where you guys have been dealing with strange dust storms. You've found giant robotic behemoths within those dust storms that seem to have been using them or creating them or augmenting them in some way, nearly destroyed Jeremy's car, or Llewellyn's car, I should say. You guys have found robotic bees, these tiny little wasp bee types that apparently when they sting and they do something to people and to animals. So that's something weird you guys found. You've found sentient meat that just started to spread all throughout Llewellyn and Allison's home. And you guys directed it to the military base, Fort Upchurch. You talked to it. Yeah. Yeah. Then Nicholas had the bright idea of directing it to be flame broiled. So it's great. Let's see, what other weird stuff have we encountered? I'm trying to think. I think those are the big ones. Some stuff is dissolved. Something about the dust storms and stuff. Certain inanimate objects and certain people have just kind of dissolved into tiny little particles. You found potentially a dead body of one of your teenage friends from high school. So lots of weird stuff has really been coming together. And then after one of the dust storms, Levi, Edward, and I believe it was Nicholas, you guys saw the horizon change. You saw the light around you just go black, electricity begin to spark, and then the horizon just ever so subtly changed. And as you guys started to move about, you also had some weird newspaper article at some point that described like the destruction of this place of endurance, or at least some sort of horrible like holiday event. It's still, the context of that is still not entirely clear yet. But there's
How far away from that date are we, actually?
About a week.
Getting closer.
Yeah, getting a little closer. So we ended last time. So last episode, the crew went over to a radio station because the radio station was bordering on this pest control place that you guys were investigating, where you found some machinery owned by the military that somehow was tied to these robotic bugs. And you went over to the radio station Chuck's or Levi's band, Scrag 121, had a wonderful premiere as their entire ridiculously underproduced, overly long album was played because his friend, one of the bandmates, was a DJ. You guys got into an office, stole a computer, like a high-tech kind of military-grade computer. You climbed up a tower, saw some strange additions to that radio tower. Edward was able to suss out, and I think Nicholas lent a hand in this, like there were a bunch of different signals that were sort of being pulled in from different places. There was printouts that were almost as if they were trying to compare those signals to something else and not quite making perfect matches. And then the military showed up. Folks in Humvees chased you all. You guys escaped by driving over a bridge that had recently been destroyed in a dust storm. And Stephen hopped out to make sure there wasn't too much weight in the car when you did it. And then Llewellyn did his best Dukes of Hazzard impression and just got in a little trouble and just flew you guys right over the bridge. So let's just go ahead and pick up right where we left off. So we've got everybody with the exception of Stephen, who's now on the northern side of this river wash. It's not a river. It once maybe in the past was a river, but it's just a kind of a big chasm now. Underneath this bridge, there's a handful of cars that have already crashed there. Stephen, you've been able to watch as multiple Humvees, including, and then also like a regular sedan showed up. You saw the woman that you mentioned, the manager, you presume, of the radio station, and she was kind of yelling at these folks who were dressed in black gear, almost like she was in charge. And Stephen, while you're watching, you see that one of the Humvees begins to slowly and carefully try to climb, like kind of try to drive down the steep embankment, and it looks like they're trying to get across. So Stephen, what are you doing?
Is it just that one Humvee? Are there multiple?
There's
Humvees?
more, but right now it looks like just one is going down.
Damn. So I was hoping it was just one. How many of them are there? Are they all occupied? Or?
You can see that there are 3 total Humvees that, like, a couple of them, like, they show up in a little bit of a like, you know, like segmented in a way, like one shows up and then another and another, so that it's possible they could be radioing each other. But you've got the one sedan and you got 3 Humvees, and one of those Humvees has now gone down the side of the riverbed.
Good grief.
And the others are still there. The other people are still kind of hanging around. If you would like, you can roll and investigate if you want to try to like peek in and see anything else.
Yeah,
because you can see they're doing something. Like they're not just sitting around doing nothing. There's something they're doing.
Okay, I do want to know whatever that is. So.
Okay, yeah, roll an investigation and we'll see what else you can see. Okay. Give you one piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that one of the backs of the Humvees is open, and there's apparently 2 people dressed in black that are pulling out what looks like some kind of machinery. And you watch for a bit, and you notice that one of them has almost like a giant remote control in their hands. And after a few moments, you see what basically looked to you like a folding table begin to reshape. The legs begin to go mobile. Almost like a transformer takes on the shape of what looks like a dog. But it's like a robotic piece of equipment that is now moving about.
Oh, wow. So I've been working with Boston Laboratories recently or something. Whatever it is.
They have the patent Boston Laboratories stole it from.
My God.
Okay. You can think about that, and I'll switch over to them and give them something to do. Okay. So you guys, the rest of you just got in the car, you flew over, you landed, you stuck the landing, 10 out of 10. Nadia Comaneci would be so proud. That's an old gymnast, Joe. I know that's difficult for you. So the car lands. You drive across. Llewellyn, You notice after probably about 50 yards of driving, after you clear the bridge or so, the car begins to sort of, you're hearing some really dangerous noises now coming from. It's still moving, but you're definitely getting the sense that this thing is not doing well. It's moving along at a very slow pace. You're having difficulty getting it into higher gears. You can hear a rattling as if maybe something happened to the suspension when you landed. You're probably not going to be winning any races with this. You guys know that there is a road that heads northward, and it eventually will take you to a couple different places. So one of the places it could take you to is the tourist, like there's like a tourist center for like the this whole Crystal Canyon area, which basically amounts to like a mini Grand Canyon. If you think of like this massive Grand Canyon, the Crystal Canyon is much smaller, and it is known for like giving out these little colorful geodes and stuff from small caves that are in the sides of that canyon. That there used to be like tours and things that people would go on there, but they don't do it anymore. But geodes are still given out, and you know there's also nearby this little tourist center. There is the equivalent of like a kind of like a hippie commune, where like there's like fortune tellers and there's people who sell little trinkets and things as well. Those are like the only two things up here. You know that if you kind of kept driving north and around and through the wilderness, you might get off to the west towards where the summer camp is, but you're not sure if your car can make it off-roading for very far. So what's the plan for you guys? And you also know that Steven's behind you.
Where are we going, man? That was awesome.
That was awesome. Oh shit, where's Steven?
Oh crap. Did we leave him behind?
Tried to help us lighten.
Oh man.
That was a decision he made. Yes.
That was
He
a
did what I
decision.
was thinking about doing.
And we did make it, so maybe it was good that he did.
Okay. Yeah. Does it look like there are any areas where like we could like pull the car in somewhere and kind of like have it be mostly out of sight?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation just as you look around to see if you can find somewhere worthwhile to hide it. It's sort of desert scrubland, so it's not like there's not like big trees. There's saguaro cactuses here and there. There's some dirt and some scrubland and everything. So there's a lot of, but it is getting rockier as you kind of get up towards the canyon. And yeah, there are a couple places you might be able to pull off. You're not sure how good of a hiding place it would make, but it would definitely get you off the road. It probably wouldn't be if someone was looking for you specifically, they might be able to find you. But if someone was just casually driving by, they probably wouldn't notice you.
It's like, obviously we don't want to drive back to go pick Steven up.
Sure.
But we shouldn't just leave him there either.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
I mean, I'm an asshole, but I'm not like 100% asshole.
Right? Especially, it sounds like your car's about to croak, man.
No, man, it's good. Like it'll last.
Nothing we can't fix.
Yeah. Just need like a couple of days where we aren't being chased by all this nonsense. So yeah, it's screwed.
Okay.
So should we go like keep driving for like a few more minutes, get a little more distance, and then kind of huff it back?
Yeah,
I'm good with
probably. That's a good idea.
Okay. So you guys drive up. Say like like a mile maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Drive a mile up. You find a little spot off the road where elevation's a little undulant, and you find like a rock formation that you just curve around. And if anybody's driving straight up the road and not looking too carefully, they will absolutely not see this. You're pretty confident of that. If you want to throw some cactus limbs over top of it, like Dan was suggesting in chat, like, hey, that might help. Who knows?
This is now my second successful car stealth roll.
This car.
Just-
This is your iconic item. It's the only reason that it hasn't
Yes.
been destroyed yet. Is
I
because
know.
it's your iconic item.
It's been
Just
merciful.
find some blowing tumbleweed and just
Mhm.
Yeah.
pile them.
Okay. So you guys got this. You got this suitably hidden, as hidden as you could hide a car in the middle of the desert.
Mhm.
So what do you guys want to do? You're probably
track.
like a 45-minute walk up to the tourist center from where you're at, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on how far you move, and then you're like a 10-minute walk back to where you guys just came from.
I mean, should we all go back for Steven? Or like the more of us there are, the more likely we get spotted, right?
Makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I feel kind of sketchy about us all splitting up because
Yeah.
Well, maybe the fewer of us that get caught, the better.
okay.
Lou, you want to go back for him? Because if we
Okay.
need to try to hike him up, we're probably pretty good people to do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to envision having to have him like climb up the near side of this wash. Might take a little athleticism, depending on how deep it is, if there was a bridge over it.
I've
Yeah,
got
man.
that pretty good too, so I can go help with that as well. If we want to do an even split.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so who's heading back? Can we just summarize it really quick for me, as I wasn't paying attention because I was being a smartass in chat. So who's heading back
me
for
and
Steven?
Llewellyn.
Okay, and then the rest of you are hiding or heading north.
I think we head north, maybe find civilization, see if we can liberate a car and pick everyone else up.
Okay. So then we'll go back to Steven then, as the four of you begin your walk, heading north. And it's basically a kind of a grimy road at this point. It's not like a major paved road. At a certain point, right after the bridge, the pavement kind of turns into rock, and you guys are just following that, and you know where it's going to go. So you get on that road and you just follow it. The rest of you turn back. So Llewellyn, Nicholas, you turn back. Steven, you just watched this strange device kind of get activated, and then as you're watching this, it begins to move, and it just starts. Then it bolts into full speed and starts running in the direction of the river wash. You also notice that another box, this big old metal box, gets pulled out, flipped open, and you can see another device is getting pulled out. And as these two individuals in the black clothing are looking like they're going to activate whatever the hell this is, the woman comes over, the manager Lois Phillips. She comes over and she's like, and then she points up at the sky for some reason. You're too far away. So I remember that last time you didn't want to get too close to them, so you're too far away to necessarily hear what they're saying. But she's denying whatever it is that they're trying to do. So you just saw a Humvee drive down into the river wash, and you saw now a robotic dog start running in that direction as well. What would you like to do?
Are any of these vehicles abandoned of any sort yet?
I mean, people have gotten out of them. I wouldn't say that they're left completely unattended, though.
Something I was thinking about doing is like maybe seeing if I could just take a rock and like throw it like way on the far side to see if I could just draw some attention that way.
Okay. Sure. Can you roll a force test to see how well you can throw this rock?
I can.
The more successes you get, the more effective and further this throw will go.
What?
I already have 2 conditions though.
Just to throw a rock.
Okay.
I'm worried I'm gonna
tear your
need this.
labrum.
I'm worried I'm gonna need these conditions for what I may or may not do next.
Okay. You throw the rock, and it gets over top of them. You succeeded, so you did what you wanted to do. And the rock, and you can see that one of them immediately turns, and in the process of turning to look, they have, within like a second and a half, drawn a gun and pointed it off in that direction from their hip. And so they're like looking, and the woman kind of chides him for his, this guy's like, okay, settle down. It's a freaking rock and whatever. But you do see this guy starts to wander over to where you threw the rock. Gun is still in hand, kind of ignoring what looked like some kind of insult, and is investigating the area that you have thrown the rock to. But they have weapons.
Yeah, apparently they're edgy.
A little bit.
Edgelords.
Boy, I'm not exactly the bravest person in the world either. Because I wanted to see if I could go take around in one of their vehicles, but if they're all still tended to, that's probably not gonna be very easy, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, like, it looks like they're creating like a kind of a command post in a way, like the way they've orchestrated some of the vehicles. Like, this is like they're setting this up as a place of operation.
Okay, so my best guess is probably going to be to try and move across to meet up with them too, to be honest.
All right.
So I gave them a little noise over there. Hopefully I can not make noise over here.
Okay. So you head over to the river wash and you look around for the best way down. You can see that the Humvee is still struggling a bit, but you notice that robotic dog is having no issues whatsoever. It has already eclipsed the Humvee, moving past it. It climbed down very effectively and is moving very easily along the bottom of the river wash, where it's just a bunch of rock and old broken down cars and all sorts of other debris, and it's moving with a great alacrity. Why don't you roll a move test to see how quickly and effectively you move down here? It's a little bit of a climb.
One.
Okay, that's all you needed.
One.
That's all you
Got
need.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. And so you begin your descent, and you're far enough away where you're pretty confident that they're not going to see you. So we'll go then to Nicholas and Llewellyn. You guys have been walking back towards the bridge at this point. You get within about, let's say, 100 yards. And I'll say the two of you see movement along the ridge, like the not the bridge itself, but off to the side. We'll say to the west. You can see that as if something's climbing up the bank of the river wash. And as you're watching, don't need a roll. You see a head come up, and the light of the glistening sun reflects off of it, and you see what looks something metallic and robotic is moving.
Oh shit, that's a big fucking bug. Wait.
It doesn't seem to notice us. It's like moving.
Now you guys about 100 yards away, far enough where you can kind of easily duck to the side of the road. Like, you don't have to roll anything yet.
Okay.
But you're high. Well, I'll give you the idea that you step behind a rock or you crouch down as you watch it climb up.
All right. I want to do. Would it be an investigate to see if I see anything else in the area?
That's fine. Yeah, investigate. I've been using like sort of like a perception thing, so that's fine.
Okay. Cool. One success.
Okay.
Scanning to try and see if I see any more creatures like that.
Okay. You do not see any more creatures like that. You do see several vehicles across the side on the other side of the bridge. So,
okay.
And you can see them. They're like the large black Humvees that you've now become familiar with.
Are the doors open? Like people have been getting out of them?
It does look like there's people milling about.
Okay.
Without binoculars or something, you can get a great look, but you get enough.
Sure.
So, as the two of you are watching, you see this creature climb up the side, and it kind of shifts a little bit as if it's adjusting its arms and its legs, and then it begins to move down the road. And you notice that its head is on like a 360 swivel, and you can see that there's lenses on each side of it. So every time it's moving, there's like each side has like a camera, like a camera lens.
Am I with this group, Jeff?
No, I think you went with Levi and yeah. I mean, if you want to be, we haven't gone to them yet. So if you want to be there, that's fine.
No, I'm just confused. That works.
Maybe be fair. Just think maybe I still have like my Letterman jacket or anything like that on me.
I don't see why not. That's fine.
All right. What do you think our chances are of like tossing this over that thing's head and then just smashing it?
Does it look like we can catch up to it if we ran after it?
It doesn't seem to be moving fast. It's in front of you.
Okay.
It's moving towards you, and it's moving very methodically down the road, like it's scanning.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I think we can pretty well guess the way it's going. So we just kind of like, wait, dude, you know, and we get just right spot.
Okay.
Blam, drop the jacket over its head. Spam, bam, bam, right? And then like maybe we throw it down the ravine and then we're good. Except for the fact that they probably will know we broke their robot, but they're down a robot.
Okay. Let's are there any like big grabbable rocks anywhere near me?
Sure. There absolutely are. No problem.
Rocks. Yes.
Do that.
Okay.
Okay. Then let's wait till it gets close and we can throw like a rock on the other side of it, and then we'll run at it.
Okay.
Oh man, destruction of public property, the Forrester way.
There was a family motto
Taxpayers
for the
love us.
Forresters. That's what it would be. I want to roll from both of you for this. This is a
boy.
fairly dangerous action. So I'm just letting you guys know this is dangerous. So how, and you guys, I'm gonna let you, so you guys can pick what skill you want to do for this, as long as it makes sense. So what skill are each of you contributing to this attempt? And both of you will need to be successful on this.
So I am wanting to toss the rock to try and distract it on the other side to give Llewellyn enough time to run at it from where we're at.
Okay.
So I want to try and feint our position.
All right. I think we just established with Dan that force is the rock skill. So throw a rock skill. So you're rolling force.
Okay.
What about you, Llewellyn?
I mean, I was initially going to try and just overpower the thing possibly once it's been distracted.
Okay.
That's a smart idea.
Also force then?
Sure.
All right.
Sounds like it.
Hot force on force action.
Okay. So if you're just going to physically try to overpower it, just with your pure strength over it, I need 2 successes from Llewellyn. 1 is fine from Nicholas. So go ahead and roll.
This
Okay.
is so bad.
I'm going to join in
potentially
after I
awful.
run up too.
All right. This is
Your
great.
car has plot armor because it's your thing. You, however, do not.
Oh no, and you failed completely.
I'll push.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should. I will.
Okay. All right.
Yay!
But I
So,
needed 2,
You
right?
needed 2. So this is what happens. So this is how this is going to play out. Unless you have a shame that you think would work here.
I mean, my shame is that I've got a drunken dad who can't be bothered to take care of his family.
Okay.
This is my cousin. He is family.
Okay. All right. So you throw the rock, Nicholas, lands on the other side, and this creature kind of turns its head so neither of the lenses are exactly staring at you guys, which gives you just enough time to run. Llewellyn, you drop your Letterman's jacket on top of it, and you just begin just beating away at it with like your elbows, and it hurts because this is metal that you're punching and elbowing. Nicholas, right after you're done throwing, you jump in as well. You notice that as Llewellyn has this thing, the front legs kind of tackled to the ground, you hear zzz, and then a loud alarm buzz starts to just completely blare, and it is almost overpowering and deafening to the two of you. It could be probably heard by even Edward and Levi and Stephen definitely Stephen and Allison and everybody else that's walking north. You do manage to, you hear this just at the last second, and one of the legs seems to have been dislodged, Llewellyn, as it slams down to the ground. And right as Nicholas and you are trying to pin it, it's like springs. It hops right back up, making both of you stumble backwards. And now this limp kind of front leg of this robotic dog is just it's just there. And you realize that the lenses are now glowing this red, and it's just directing its look right at you, alarms sounding off like crazy. we'll switch over then to Edward and Levi and Allison. Thank you for those bits, Too Old to Twitch. You guys got a couple rerolls here that we can potentially use from that. So Edward, Levi, and Allison, you guys have been wandering northward a bit. We'll say probably about half an hour has passed when you guys finally hear the sounds, like a distant sounds of some kind of buzzing behind you, some sort of alarm or siren behind you. You also see, not too far ahead of you, maybe another 10 minutes, you can see what looks like the contours of, there's like a ramp that goes up and a sign that says the Crystal Canyon Tourist Center. And then it has like another point down, as like there's a split in the road, and going down takes you to what looks like some kind of camping site. It doesn't have a name, it just says camping site. And then up takes you to the visitor center. You guys would know, for being locals, that if you were to go to that camping site, it's not really like it's really like a long-term little mini village of hippie people and crystal followers and all that kind of stuff down there. So, but you also, so you see that split, you can go either way, and then you hear the buzz from the back. So it's up to you guys how you want to handle this.
That sounds distressing.
That can't be good. Can't be good. But the more information we get, maybe we can.
Okay, you think we keep going and do what we got to do?
I think probably. I mean, I don't like leaving my brother behind, but I don't know that there's going to be any benefit of all of us hanging out.
Edward's chain smoking in the bag. It's like, it'll be fine, guys. Want to smoke?
Good, man. All right. We're going to the visitor center, or where were we going? To the hippies?
Yeah, I was trying to look through my notes to see there was something about a Penelope that had to do with the Crystal Canyon, but I don't know exactly what that was.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. So when you guys were in the diner, you overheard a conversation where these two people were talking about how there was some kind of fortune teller that was able to like communicate with Penelope. So it's like Penelope was whoever these people were talking about. I'll tell you this, roll any of the three of you, go ahead if you want. Why don't you guys roll a contact test to see if you know anybody up here?
All three of us can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Y'all succeed.
Okay.
we're social people.
I know a guy that buys some stuff now and then.
Okay. He probably works over at the Crystal Canyon Tourist Center, kind of just maybe at the gift shop or something. It's a really boring.
He's into all naturals.
Okay.
Shrooms usually.
All right. Okay. I like it. Do we got a name for him, Bert? What are you thinking?
He just goes by Monty.
All right. Monty at the gift shop. All right. Let's see. Levi, I'm actually going to give you yours because your grandfather mentioned this as well, sort of at one point.
Okay.
There's a woman by the name of Guadalupe. Lupe the Dead Talker is what they call her. Maybe you don't know her specifically, but maybe your grandfather knows her, and so it might lead to an end. But you know that she apparently like talks to like the dead, and she makes money off of it, and she uses like the crystals and things like that. And she lives down in the village. And then what about you, Allison?
I'm going to say that we go to school with somebody that lives up this way, and we like use their house to throw a party some weekend that the like parents are out of town or something.
Yeah, it's basically just trailers up here, camping trailers and stuff. So yeah, that's fine. We can do that. All right. Got a name for them?
June.
Good. June. I like it. June Trailer Park. All right. So with that in mind, you guys all know someone here. What do you guys want to do?
Well, you should totally go talk to Lupe the Dead Talker. I mean, if anyone can point us in the right direction, she can just contact the spirit of Alice and ask her what happened.
You should have done that from the beginning. Why didn't you say something earlier that you knew this woman?
You know, I'm the front man of the band because I'm pretty, not necessarily smart.
How far away is she?
Not far. You guys are at the split. You got a split. You can go up or down, basically, and they're 10 minutes away either way. So it's walk up, walk down.
What do you think, Ed?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go. All right. Let's go find Lupe. My granddad knows her, so hopefully she'll talk to us.
Sounds a heck of a lot more reliable than my guy. I mean, Monty, you want to talk about, crunchy granola and green growing things. He's the guy. Not so reliable.
Yeah, that sounds right. Who knows? Maybe Lupe knows him.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. Anyway, let's go there.
Okay. So you guys, you take the low road and you head down to the little campsite village. When you arrive, you can eventually the alarm stuff goes off, or at least maybe you outpace it or something like that. So you lose track of what's behind you. You don't see Llewellyn or Steven or Nicholas or anybody trailing you at any point. So you head down. You can see that there's trailers all over the place. But you can see that they're the type of trailers that even though they're camping trailers, they look like they haven't moved in ages. Like there's little makeshift like front porches and stuff that have been set up here and there, and there's all sorts of like little extra extensions that have been added. There's a couple trucks here and there that look like they're there to pull or just to drive into town and grab groceries or whatever. But for the most part, this looks like a tiny little village of. When you're looking around, you count it up. There's maybe about a dozen different trailers that are spread out.
Were you taking notes from Dan and my camping trip? How many feral children are running around?
It's so funny, dude. I have written as one of my trouble, like if he fails rolls, there's gonna be some creepy kid who's gonna come up and just constantly bug him. It's in my notes right here. I swear to God.
That's wonderful.
So you guys are up here. And you look around and you can see that there's some signs that are set up for various businesses. Like there's someone off to the side that is like selling geodes. You see someone who's apparently selling like oranges, which we have oranges in Arizona. It's crazy. But yeah, there's people selling fruit. There's like a fruit salesman. And then you see the signs for Lupe. And you can see it points to, it looks like two trailers. Like Airstream, they look like almost like Flight of the Navigator, like chrome color. Like it's pretty. They look pretty well cleaned up. There looks to be some kind of like guy sitting out front in a rocking chair with a shotgun across his lap, and he's just sitting there. He's probably in his 60s, dark tan, like leathery skin, like he's really been out. He's a desert guy, and he's got sunglasses on when you guys approach. And all he does is point with his shotgun over towards this tiny little sign, and then it's got $20, and then you can see that there's a big old bucket on the ground where people are just dropping money in.
Do we have $20?
I mean, Edward always has money.
You want me to roll something to see if I do?
We've established it's in the fiction. We've established it with your character. You've got money's not an issue really.
Unless it all went flying out the window when we jumped the car.
No, I don't know. He probably carries it in his pockets. I would say he has enough to cover this. We'll say. Okay, so he drops him.
Edward pulls out a roll, rips off a 20.
Just 20. So you drop a 20 in there, and then you guys, who goes up first?
I know her of her. I guess I can lead the way.
Okay.
Your best.
So Levi, you take a couple steps, and then Allison, you come up next. And as you do, you hear a ch-ch, and he points at the sign again that says 20.
Oh man, is that 20 each?
That's what apparently he's trying to say.
Man. He'll off a few more.
So eventually you guys go ahead and you get inside the trailer. It's a little couple steps up. You smell incense just hit you in the face. You look around, you can see this whole place is kind of covered with all sorts of new age stuff. You see crystals hanging down from the ceiling. You see little cactus succulents with colorful blooms on the rims near some of the windows. You can see that on the far side of the trailer, there's this really colorful curtain with all sorts of different designs on it. There's no one in here that you can see. There is a table in front of you, but as you walk in, you hit some beads. The beads kind of flail all over the place, and then a bell rings, and then moments later, a woman comes out from behind the curtain. She's got this big old purple dress on, like this billowy, almost like a Disney princess type dress, but then she's got what looks like a biker jean jacket cut off thing. She's got no sleeves, and it's just kind of over top of what looks like a Guns N' Roses t-shirt, and she's smoking what looks like a cigar, and she's like, "All right, go ahead and sit down. Let's get through this." And so she points you guys down, and that's that. We'll switch over then. We'll switch over to Steven then. Steven, you made it across. As you climb up, you're halfway up the ridge on the northern side of the bank when you hear a going crazy from in front of you. You scramble up just a little bit, and you look, and you can see Llewllyn and Nicholas are apparently wrestling the robot dog that you saw. You look behind you, and you see that the Humvee has made it down to the flat surface and is starting up the incline a bit. You can't quite see the southern bank of the river wash and what they're doing up there. What do you like to do, Steven? You're muted, Dan.
I'm hesitant to also get caught with the dog at the moment.
We're winning.
I know, but you
Are
don't know
you?
there's a Humvee coming.
Oh, yeah.
You're about, 50 yards away or so from them. 50, 75, something like that.
I don't know what the dog can do. I want to tell them to run, but I also want to just kind of wait and follow the Humvee myself.
Okay, well, you're ahead of the Humvee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Humvee is it's starting to work up the fairly steep embankment to try to, and it's struggling a little bit, but it'll be there. It's not going to take very long.
Yeah,
but it's also going to
I'm-
come above, and it's going to immediately see the same thing you see. It's
Right.
going to see them wrestling with the dog.
Right. I don't know if I can God damn. Is there anything to take cover behind that would kind of obscure me from
I think
the
you're
road and
Yeah, you're fine. No one notices you currently. The issue, though, is that in a moment, Llewellyn and Nicholas are going to be very clearly seen by that Humvee that's coming up the side of the river wash that they don't know about.
I want to get into some place where I can yell at them but still stay in.
Okay. All right. So you peek your head up. You kind of hide behind this embankment of the bridge. There's still some reinforcement spokes that didn't collapse because it was really only the center that did. And you want to try to call out for them. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I'll say this. It's kind of loud. They're in a heated moment. Why don't you roll a lead? I think a lead test to see if you can get their attention. But I'm welcome to listen to another roll, a different roll if you prefer.
Lead's absolutely not a skill I have any points in. I have one chance on lead.
Can you force lots of air out of your lungs to yell loudly? Is
Okay.
that better? Is it a better skill for
Dan,
you?
you tell me what you want to roll. Tell me what you want to roll. I just want to roll for this to see if they can hear you.
Maybe I can get their attention by throwing something at them and then
This whole episode is going to
Just
throw
gonna be
rocks at each
rock
other.
throwing. Where's
Yes.
Adam when we need him? All we're doing is throwing rocks. This is the perfect episode for Adam.
I'd be proud.
Okay. All right. I'll say if you're just going to throw stuff, that's fine. You're throwing stuff, and eventually, if you're just pelting them, Nicholas and Llewellyn, you will get hit by a rock. Take a condition. No, I'm just kidding. And you look around, and you can see that there is Steven over by the bridge. He's kind of crouched down and hanging on to what looks like a railing of some kind. And he is frantically waving at you two.
Like, we'll frantically wave him over.
There's a robot dog
getting
between
it!
you.
I'll point over to where like the vehicle's gonna be coming at, and then like point at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm bad at hand.
What's he
signs, of
saying?
course. Like trying to
I
shoot
think-
you away.
I think there's 4 robot birds over there. We can't handle robot birds, man. We gotta eat this thing and run.
Yeah. Gotta hurry up on this one.
Okay.
Do
You
we
guys
wanna,
are
like,
you guys have smashed its leg, and it backed up from you, and it hasn't re-engaged you. It's just staring at you guys, its head spinning, the alarm blaring. You get the sense that it's literally just here to draw attention to you guys until someone else
do a tinker
reinforces.
test to try and identify its power source?
Absolutely, that sounds like a great idea. Go ahead. It's a shame that you failed at it, though.
I want to use my shame.
Of course you do. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. You can see that just underneath the chest, there looks to be a panel there that you would, if you had a guess, there's probably some sort of rechargeable battery sitting in there somewhere. If you could just get something in there.
I'm gonna point that out to Llewellyn. Say, let's get this panel off and try and get it shut down.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. Or we could just like kick it backwards and make it fall down the. Because it's not climbing back up. I mean, how fast are those robot birds going to get here, man?
True.
All right.
So
So Nicholas, you point
how
to where
hard
this
would it
thing
be?
is.
Like, how far are we from the edge that we could?
A ways,
toss it?
a ways. Like you're not immediately next to it.
okay.
Yeah. I would say, Nicholas, you've pointed out the potential vulnerability. Llewellyn, I think I want to roll from you for how you're going to act on that knowledge now.
Okay. Well, I guess we can try and wrap the jacket around it for leverage as best as possible, yank it up, and then try and grab that spot.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another force test for this. I'm
right.
still going to want 2 successes in this.
Oh,
I'm
no.
gonna assist.
Okay. You can take a +1 since Nicholas has helped you and it has also given you where specifically to go.
Okay. Yay for +1.
Okay.
What?
You hold it up. You
Whoa.
jam your hand right at the panel. You just peel it away. One of your fingernails kind of bends a little bit. You feel your hand bleeding, but you rip the panel off. Grab what amounts to like a really large rectangular battery. Just rip it out, and you hear the.
Now they'll hear me saying "run."
And then you immediately hear Steven saying "run" something. So what do you guys do?
No wins.
Do you guys run?
Yeah. Try and find a place to hide, I guess.
All right. One of you. How about one of you roll a sneak test or a move test, I should say. No, a sneak. Roll a sneak for the group.
I've got a lot of sneak.
I trust you
Got
to
a lot
lead
of
the
sneak.
way. Yeah.
3
Nice.
successes.
Okay.
Whoa.
So you quickly wave Steven over. Llewellyn, you're coming too. Steven, you keep looking over your shoulder. You hear, at this point, you guys all hear the Humvee. And as you look across the way, you can see that more of them now are starting to come down the river at the sound of the alarm going. But you guys run off into the desert shrubbery at this point, doing your best not to let them see where you're coming and try to find somewhere to hide. We'll move back over then to the airline trailer where Edward, Levi, and Allison, you sit down. This woman sits across from you and she says, you can see that she's got, it's a kind of a weird assortment of like geodes and succulents on their shells. She's got what almost looks like a gramophone, like this hand crank radio that's on like a little cart that she pulls closer to her as she sits down. And she has a small little tin can that she seems to shake the ash of ash of the cigar off into every now and then.
Okay, what do you guys want? What do you want?
We're in some real mess, and we're hoping you could give us some guidance here. It's a bit of a long story. Do you got a moment?
I've got you paid outside, I'm sure. So I've got exactly 20 minutes for each of you. So we'll say an hour.
Okay. So it started off, we were in the desert and this strange dust storm blew by, and we found Allison Chandler in the dirt, but she had turned to dirt and she blew away. And then all the crazy stuff happened in town. We came across a car that was full of sentient meat that we sent to the military place. We tricked it to going there. I don't even know. There's crazy bugs.
They also going to stop you right here. If you're here for peyote, you want to go talk to Art.
No.
He's
This
the
is
fourth trailer on the right.
No. Help me
Edward
out,
gets
guys.
upset. Wait, excuse me?
Art's a son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Guys, we need to torch Art's trailer.
Predict Art
Suddenly
suddenly
torch the
danger.
lead pipe. Let's go.
Oh yeah, and he also got information from the future that this whole town's going to be destroyed here in a couple of days.
Oh, really? That
Edward, you
sounds
wanna-
terrible.
Just
go?
to sit on the edge.
Yeah, I still unfold the printout.
Mhm. She takes a look at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is some really creative stuff. I don't know what they're teaching you kids at the high school, but whatever they're doing, good job.
Why don't
Yeah.
As
Allison
is
will jump
usual,
in.
adults are perfectly useless.
Yeah.
Allison, what were you gonna say?
Allison will jump in with the stuff about like the cabin and the guy with the wife and all of that stuff.
Okay.
So she's getting the full download of
Okay.
all of the.
You start to describe that. She sort of hesitates a little bit there when she hears you mention like what happened at the edge of the, dust storm and like the cabin. She's like, you can kind of you could see that she like there's almost a pattern to her taking a like a draught of the cigar and then like tapping it out, and like it almost like she stumbles and she misses the cup and ash kind of falls onto the table. She's like, damn it. And Allison, why don't you go ahead and roll like an empathize test here to see if you can glean something out of her.
That is not something that I've been putting my points in. I was hoping for charm.
Sorry. This is more one of those insight things. Edward, if you would like, why don't you roll an investigate test? Because I think you would probably be the one to pick up on this the most.
Right.
I failed.
Okay.
One success.
Edward, you notice that there's a lot of like cables running from that little hand crank radio, which looks like it's really peculiar looking actually when you start looking at it. It on the surface it seems like it's supposed to look like some kind of kitschy like old school gramophone thing, but you start to look and it's almost got like what looks like a computer base tower to it, but it's got like fake paneling, like wood paneling around. You're seeing cables running out of the back of it, sneaking out underneath the curtain into the back of the trailer. And just so happens that the curtain is just slightly askance, and you swear you see like servers lined up behind those curtains. You see little blinks of lights and things. Just the whole wall of the backside of the trailer is just covered in like computer gear.
Okay, I'm gonna go and stand a little closer to Levi when I say, "Hey, nice server racks you got back there. That's an awful lot of power."
And she just goes, "What? Get yourself away from there. And no one goes back there. No one goes back there." Oh man.
Yeah, that's an awful lot of processing power back there. And I kind of like follow the wires with my eyes and go, "So, what is that satellite connection you got out there?"
Okay.
You know, I saw something like this pretty recently, actually. Yeah, actually, I stole it. It's in the back of our car right now. Looks a lot like this.
Wait, what did you steal?
She kind of cares. Like, what did you steal?
Oh, something that would probably really interest you a lot, considering where we got it from.
You got it outside in your car. Go. Why don't you go get it? I'm curious.
You going to be a little bit more forthcoming with us if I bring this hardware out to you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
You said some interesting things.
All right. Hold on. Levi? Watcher.
Yeah. Keep my eyes on her.
Okay.
Yeah, so that computer we ripped out of the manager's office that had all the
Okay.
extra connections and stuff.
So who's walking back to where you guys hid the car along the side of the road to get it?
Yeah, anyone else coming with me?
Sure.
Okay.
If I'm watching, I'll sit here and watch. Like, y'all got an hour.
Well, now the clock is freely ticking. You might you're gonna have to
You
drop.
can drive us over there if you want. It would be a lot faster.
Yeah, if we could get a
I'm
lift.
not in a rush. It's you all
Okay.
that seems to be in the rush, not me.
Well, I mean, Levi, you can still see what you can maybe get out of her while we're doing this, and you can
Sure.
finish your 20 minutes, and we can do our 20 minutes when we get back.
Sure, split the party 5 ways. It's great.
Why not?
Yeah, my brain's not breaking. So Edward and Allison begin walking back. Levi, you hang out. At a certain point, like you guys are just kind of staring at one another, and she just says,
We met before.
Oh, you know my granddad Charlie.
You're Charlie's grandkid.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that old. Okay.
Yeah, he's
what are you,
pretty
like,
old.
14, 15 years old?
I'm 17. He's like,
Whatever.
yeah.
Okay.
How do you know my granddad?
Yeah, he
Not
wanted...
being rude. I'm just curious.
Nah, it's fine. He comes to talk to your dad all the time.
Can I talk to my dad?
You paid the 20. If that's what you want.
Sure.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't always answer for everybody, and I got to go through the whole spiel. When I say you talk to him, he doesn't really talk back, but you can hear him, if that's okay. It's fairly
Sure.
mundane conversation. He's just he might be. One time, sometimes people like to come here. They want to hear the voice, loved ones, etc. They could just be taking a shit for all we know, but just be prepared. It might be underwhelming. But
Okay.
I'm going to need to put a few things on you first, if that's all right.
Sure.
and so you see her, like, she reaches underneath the table and she pulls out what looks like all sorts of like little wires and like hookups and stuff, and she starts putting them along the sides of your temples, and she starts stringing it out and running it into the hand crank radio. At this point, she pulls open this faux wood panel, and you can see there's all sorts of connections, like it's some sort of heavy duty like stereo equipment, plugs here and there, dials, little meters that are kind of churning.
All right.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you actually connecting to dead people or just people in a parallel universe?
You're a smart boy.
Because we had that theory because we found that old village on the side of town that there was a picture of a lady who was dead but wasn't dead. It was weird.
Yeah. You're a smart boy. Dude, you're much smarter than you look. And
Thanks. I don't get that often.
You got the pretty face. I didn't know you had the brains. It's good. Your
Yeah, you know-
grandfather, he ain't got either.
Shit happens.
So she hooks you up and she starts like hand cranking this radio, and you see like all of these different dials and numbers and stuff begin to flash on the panel. And like after a moment, she's like, "Oh,
that's interesting. Okay.
And she's got like a headphone up to her ear. She's listening. Oh, that's curious. Okay. All right, well, that's gonna be different then. In 1 second, and then she starts moving around. You don't have the same setup as your grandfather. And she starts moving around some dials. It's like, that's all right. Still found him. Okay.
All right, here we go.
And so she takes the headphones out, unplugs them, and suddenly you hear out of like the gramophone speaker area the sound of your father talking, and it sounds like he's ordering lunch at an Applebee's or some other generic restaurant from 1992.
I wonder if he's going to get the onion blossom.
And you hear like 2 seconds later, "Do you have an onion blossom?"
Nice.
I'm like, "No, that's Outback Steakhouse." I'm like, "Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Sorry."
damn.
And then you hear a voice. You kind of hear like the muffling of like a different voice, but you can't make it out. It's just his, and it's like you're hearing only his side of the conversation. But it's like the most mundane stuff.
So really, just eavesdropping in on whatever slice of life they got going.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, I'll ask, like, does this? It doesn't go the other way, then does it?
Well, you talk to him? No, it doesn't work that way.
Well, it's still cool to get to hear him.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be in better shape than your grandfather's son, so that's good.
Yeah, that's all right. Damn, I was kind of hoping how I could ask him how to get mom off my back.
Your mom. Okay. I don't really know how to do about that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You know, you and your grandfather, you don't match, right?
He taught me how to play the guitar, but that was,
No,
we're
that's not
good
what I mean.
buddies.
I mean,
What do you mean?
Your frequencies are off. They don't align.
Like, am I from a different universe?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Or is he just not my
you guys
dad?
don't. No. I mean, I don't know. It's not biology. It's just frequency. It's. I thought you knew. You talk such a good game. It sounded like you knew what I was talking about. So I just assumed. No, I don't think you guys are from the same parallel universe, if that's the phrase you're using. But that's fine. No, I think you guys are different. Sorry, because his son is in jail, so it's weird. So your father from a different one is like serving time. So he comes and he listens, and it's kind of an awkward thing. But yours seems to be on the outs. That's good to hear.
That's good to hear. That's crazy, though. So that means somehow these multiple universes have converged at some point, putting that one of him and this one of me together on the same track.
Yeah, you just keep writing your music.
And so she's just sort of like condescendingly chuckling at you now. We'll switch over though, and we'll go over to Stephen, Nicholas, and Llewellyn, who are in the middle of nowhere. You've got the battery of a robot, like a robot dog heart, in your hand, and you guys watch as a Humvee, because I'll say you guys, with 3 successes, you got a really good hiding place, and you're able to kind of see what's coming up. And you can see that this black Humvee has gotten up, is pulled up next to the destroyed robotic dog. One of the doors opens up, and a guy steps out, kind of sort of looks around, and you can see that he pulls out a gun. And then another one comes out of the driver's side, closes it. They go around to the backside, open up the backside of the Humvee, and they start pulling out literally assault rifles at this point. What do you guys want to do?
Oh no.
Let's not punch these guys.
They're looking, and you can definitely tell that they're looking around on the ground for signs of footprints and which way you guys might have gone. Looks like there's throw a rock. They're looking around. It's not, remember, like, it's not paved anymore. It's only paved immediately after the bridge, and then it becomes like kind of dirt and stuff. So they're looking around, and it's kind of a mess because you guys were fighting, but they're looking.
Okay, so we spot these guys. Steven, where the fuck are those like robot birds you were talking about?
They're not here yet. They have them.
Oh shit.
You didn't let them use them yet, but now that we destroyed the robot dog, I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't even know they're birds. It could be that they have the bees.
It's like, I know it's kind of like a wuss thing to do to run away from stuff, but like this is one of those times where it's like it's okay to run, right?
Yeah, they got guns.
Okay. Yeah.
That's usually my metric on if I should run from anything is firearms.
Okay. All right.
Let's take stock of our inventory. There's 3 of us and a battery, and there's 3 of them and 3 guns.
I do have this thing, and I'll pull out like the orange scary battery.
So I counted the battery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have
Oh,
the other
but he's
battery,
got the
too.
other thing too, the weird orange thing.
Yeah, the thing from the back of the oven machine from inside the pesticide place.
No.
Yeah.
I think if we use
What do you
that,
think
then
this
we're getting
does if I
shot
throw
on
this
sight.
at him?
Wait, dude, like what? Like you're smart with like wires and things, right? What if you wire that up to the dog heart, see if it reacts, and you toss it like a bomb? Oh my God, what am I saying? Please stop listening to me.
I think I should just throw it.
If Edward were here, that'd be a definite maybe.
I
But
want to
me,
do a
probably
tinker
not.
test to see if I can. If I think this would be an effective throwing weapon, perhaps explosive.
don't.
I think if we throw this thing, we're all gonna die.
So, Joe, so you're trying to figure out what exactly right now?
I want to see if I can determine if it's a good idea to throw this or not.
Well, if it's a good idea, that's up to you. That's whether or not Nicholas thinks it's a good idea to throw it. That's your call. I think it's a fabulous idea for you to throw it.
In fairness, dude, I'm not gonna pass judgment, but please don't.
Go ahead and roll a calculate test if you want. So calculate would probably give you an idea of how this might work or what problems it could cause if you throw it.
One
If it were to
success.
Okay.
Ow.
You're fairly confident that this could be an explosive. Yeah, it could probably explode. It seems under some kind of compression. The tech is beyond what you're used to, but it certainly could do something. With only one success, you're not sure what the radius of that explosion might be, though. But yeah, you're pretty sure it's going to explode if you throw it, and if it shatters.
I just like to remind you, we technically haven't hurt anyone, which may be to our advantage if we get caught.
What if we just take out like the vehicle's wheels or something?
And if it comes down to it, we threaten to throw that thing on the ground when they catch us.
Nice. Okay. And like we even pretend we've got it hooked up to the robot dog heart, and they'll be like, "Holy shit, these guys
we
are
go
crazy."
down, we're taking you with us. I don't want to be an experiment.
That'd be good. Yeah. Okay.
Not where I thought this was going. All right, so what are you guys doing? You guys are hidden well. They don't seem to see you. I mean, it's a matter of time. If you guys stay still, it's just a matter of time before they find you, but you're pretty well hidden right now and you have a good view of them. You also know, Steven, that there's more trucks coming over.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, we're going to be outnumbered and found in a matter of time. We'll have to probably either
There's
try
more
and
trucks
slowly...
trying to go under the bridge.
They go down and then they come back up. Yeah, it's fairly steep embankment, so it's kind of slow going. Takes them a couple minutes to get across.
Over the bridge.
I'm thinking
that's enough of a.
I don't know if you've got the arm for that.
No, I could move up closer and then toss it over.
If you move up closer, though, you will lose your hiding spot at that point.
Are there any other
guys with guns.
cars that are along the road that?
No, this is
this
is a very empty highway, and plus the bridge is out, so no one's really driving.
Okay.
I mean, would we be able to slowly start just making our way to some position where we're out of sight and then move away faster?
Yeah, I feel like you guys could easily move off into the greater desert area, kind of hiding here and there, staying away from the road and trying to find your way to your friends that way. You could certainly do that. It would require tests to see if you can not get lost, but yeah.
I feel like that's safer than
tossing explosives or picking a fight with dudes with guns.
Yeah, fighting guys with guns or throwing unknown explosives. I feel like running a little further is better.
Okay, man. I can respect that. I think maybe I've pushed my luck far enough today.
Yeah, let's try and meet up with everybody else.
Okay.
Plus,
if they do
yeah.
catch us, we do the bomb bluff.
Yes.
Crazy.
Bluff?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it's definitely a bluff until it's not.
So why don't let's see. trying to
We don't know what it does, so we're not scared of it.
I'm too stupid to be scared.
Famous last words.
I should get that on the t-shirt.
Okay. How about this? Just somebody roll a move test if they want to lead the way, finding a safe route out of here that's going in the direction you want. One of the three of you can do it.
How are you on move? Do you feel like you're good to move? I'm still a little bagged up from rolling out of the car.
I mean, I'm okay. Usually Nicholas is like grease lightning over there.
I can do that. It's just one for the group.
Yeah. Yeah, you're leading the way.
Yeah, one success.
Okay. Yeah. You take a kind of a vector away from here that you think, if you've done your math right, if you've kind of assessed everything right, is going to take you towards where you know everyone else was probably heading, which was towards the only civilized area on this side of the bridge, which is that little village and tourist center. Edward and Allison, you guys make it back to the car without a problem. But why don't the two of you, if you want, roll investigate tests while you're over here?
Both of us?
Yeah, it's fine because you're just sort of looking around, see if you see any of the craziness happening down there.
I don't.
You don't?
Me either.
No.
Nope.
You guys go and you get the computer. You don't see anybody else. You don't see Llewellyn. You don't see Nicholas. You don't see Stephen. But you get the computer, and you're free to go back if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll fast forward a little bit then, and we'll say that you guys arrive back at the trailer. You get in there, and there is basically a couple pieces of like yellow college ruled paper on the table, and there's like a pencil that's moving around wildly in the hands of Guadalupe, who's trying to explain the math of what's going on to Levi. And she's like using all sorts of language that like is probably just beyond. She's like, okay, so it's not really a technical term. We call them familial frequencies. I'm not going to get into the things of it, but basically everyone hums at a certain frequency. And if you're on the same plane, there's certain parts of that frequency that'll get a match up. And if they don't match, and you can tell that they're from a different dimensional shift plane. And so what I'm saying to you is that you and your grandfather are not from the same dimension. It's okay, don't worry. There's a lot of people here. We're mixing and matching. We've been shifting for like 15 years. I've been telling them they shouldn't have done it. It's crazy. But, yeah, and, you know, those dust storms you were talking about, most of the time they're just dust storms. But it's at a certain point, they kind of started using them as the perfect time when they were trying to shift, because there's a little bit of like weird things that start to happen along the horizon. I'm not sure if you know, it's like when that one, you start seeing things and stuff. It's called transpositional buffering. It's like when endurance is just zipping out and going into what we call kind of like an escrow phase. They're not yet in a new dimension, but they're not in the old dimension, and they arrive in a different dimension. It's kind of shifting places. Very complicated. And she's literally putting the equations out on the ground for, on the paper for you guys, right as Edward and Allison walk in.
I have learned so much, you two.
What?
So the whole town's shifting dimensions.
Why?
The town and like some of the surroundings too. Why not? I don't know.
If I were there, I'd tell you I called it, but
Crazy.
I told him not to do it. I used to work at the fort as a signals operator, and let's just put it this way: there's an infinite amount of endurances, or at least not necessarily the city. This place is plenty of times where we've looked in, because that's originally what we saw. It was more dimensional viewing. We could see other endurances, and some of them were far more advanced than us. Some of them had different issues here and there. But at a certain point, Chatham wanted to keep pushing and pushing because he saw some of that tech that they had on the other side. It was interesting to him, and it wasn't just about viewing anymore. We were communicating, but we weren't, sharing anything. And he pushed a little far. A lot of us quit, but some of us stayed on. Science is science, young lady. You push the boundaries. You never know where the line is until you cross it,
But what does all of this have to do with the bugs and the little robot flying
Bugs.
bug things?
Oh, well, robots, we didn't really make them, but a couple of the other ones did, and I don't know, we share, like I said, we share things, we steal things, we take things, so
what
bugs,
do
what
they
kind of
do
bugs
with-
you talking about?
And I'll describe the little, and like the houses being, exterminated and.
Right, she's like, that sounds a little bit like Endurance 04285. I guess about 7 years ago, we came in contact with one of them. They were doing some sort of like refertilization process, and they were using these robotic bugs to like repollinate. In that place, the bees had threatening to go extinct and everything, and they had to find some other way to kind of replace it. And I guess the solution, maybe it's those. I don't know for sure. There's a whole mess load of different projects and things. It's intense,
Edward, does all of this math make sense to you? None of this. It's right over my head.
No. Got this computer.
Ah, nice. That's very good. Yeah, that's. And she kind of takes a look at, because there's like a little sticker on the side. You got Lois's computer. She's probably so pissed at you guys. Oh my God. I'm surprised you haven't gotten shot in the ass yet, I'll be honest.
It's probably coming.
Yeah.
But I also figure it's got some really good pay data in here. Stuff that might be useful.
Oh, yeah. No, sure. You can sell that stuff, but you sell it, they're going to track you down. You don't want them to track you down.
I'm not, well, actually selling it's a nice idea, but no, I'm more worried about, like, we need to find out what's going on. I mean, if the town's going to be destroyed in like a week.
Oh, I don't know about that. Don't worry about that. More than likely, what probably happened is you probably got some sort of cross-dimensional turbulence there with the frequencies. It's all sorts of very complicated.
But how do you know that for sure? I mean, what if this is our location?
It's very unlikely. It's possible. The amount of times that we've almost destroyed the city, I mean, I've lost count, like in the 50s at least. So more than likely would probably happen.
So you're saying our number's up. That's what you're really saying.
No.
If you work the odds.
Listen, if you want to try to stop them, more than welcome to you. But they're very connected. This stuff goes straight to Washington,
So if like the parallel
know, Jack?
endurances start fighting, they should call it the Endurance Wars.
That's a good name. Maybe make
That's a
like
good
a
name.
video game or like a tabletop role-playing game or something. About
Yeah.
That sounds like a really good idea. It's hot. You guys know you're living in the desert. It's hot. Oh, goodness. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, I should have put a hat on. Ugh. But
Allison
So-
is going to get really excited for a second and say, Edward, so there's another one of you that doesn't have cancer.
Or maybe he's got something worse.
Could be. Well, that doesn't
Super
do this
cancer.
Edward any good, though.
we did find in Endurance 72581, there was a super cancer. So it's possible maybe, there's that. It's very
Oh, you're
tragic.
from that endurance. That's crazy. So what was the thing that turned Alice to dirt? Like, and what happens if like it merges and there's two of the same person in the same endurance?
Oh, that can't
Is it-
happen.
Like it won't happen, or like does one turn to dirt?
One of them doesn't tend to do that. So basically, what happens? I mean, the process is a little convoluted, but effectively, when you shift, everybody within the parameters of all the pylons. You guys know about the pylons, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that they mark the outer boundaries of when we're shifting, And lo and behold, we shift, etc., etc. Anybody within that confines of the pylons, when we shift, they come along with us. Anybody who's outside of this pylons, well, they're stuck in whatever dimension that they're in, which is why some of you probably, like Levi, you grant you. Well, actually, taking a look at your frequency, you're a native endurance, but your grandfather at some point was probably outside the boundaries. We shifted, etc. It's one of the reasons why we only tried to shift when dust storms were coming, because when the dust storms were going, not only did it cloak, the shifting, but it beat down travel. People don't like to travel when there's a dust storm.
Yeah.
And everything. We close the roads and stuff, but close the roads too many times, and then people get suspicious, and I get suspicious. Listen, I'm on your side. I told them there's a reason I don't work there anymore. I just, no, it's wrong. Everything they're doing is just wrong. So, anyway. But yeah, I mean, the dissolving thing, well, we got those, I don't know, those big old behemoth things. I'm not even really 100% sure what they do, kind of, towards the end of my days. It wasn't really my department. Like I said, there's like 100 different operations they've got going on, projects left and right. There's something like, 600-700 people, I think, who work there. So, lots of folks doing lots of things, multiple people on multiple projects. But they do something with sort of, augmenting, I don't know, redistributing. It's not my department. I'm radio signals. I'm not in robotics.
I feel
We
like
took one of
Allison's
those
jaw
out.
is just on the ground at this point. Like, oh my god, all these things going on we didn't even know.
Yeah, I know. Anybody you want to talk to? You got like a father you want to talk to or something? Well, not talk to. Sorry, I gotta stop saying that. Talk. I really have a tendency to misrepresent what that project, actually is. But yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of like shit bouncing around in my head now.
My hair is getting made fun of in chat.
Oh no,
Look
I think
at
it's
it.
wonderful.
Look at it flowing. Look at this.
It's
Longest it's ever
You're-
been. The
Uh-huh.
hottest summer of my life, and the longest my hair's ever been. This is a
you
brilliant
just gotta
combination.
tease it up for Wednesday.
That's what I should do. Put it in like a hairnet pod.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you guys want to ask her?
Personally, Allison might want to hear from their mom.
Your mother. Okay. All right. And so she does this. She shows her the same process. She hooks Allison up to all sorts of these little like diodes and things connecting to your temples. She starts changing up some dials and things. And she's like, oh, okay. You also from existing endurance. All right. Both of you, Levi, Allison, the memories that you have of each other are consistent with what they are. So congratulations. You two have known each other your whole lives. And you haven't been switched out at any point, so congratulations. This is good. That's good. So let's see.
Something I didn't even know I needed to be thankful for, but now I am.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, some people get weirded out by it. Not that I talk about this with many people, but the man out front, he was my husband, but he's not really my husband. It's very awkward. Anyhow, we're still friends. It's okay. But the love is gone.
He gets a year $20 for 20 minutes, so.
Yeah, he was much more talkative. My guy was much more talkative. He's very quiet, but honestly, I do like that about him. He's much quieter than the other one was. So you're looking to talk to your mother? Okay. So yeah, so she starts like kind of searching. It takes a while. So like this isn't like an instantaneous thing. It's just like she's sort of scanning and scanning. She got a thing on like. Okay, like kind of listening in. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. All right, here you go. And she pulls the plug, and you can hear your mother. And apparently, she's at home. She's talking to somebody. She's doing like gardening of some kind. She shouts for somebody to go get her some kind of extra miracle grow. You're not sure who she's talking to, but she's talking to somebody.
and I'll ask, like, can we hear who she's talking to? Is she talking to me or my brother?
No, sorry, it doesn't really work that way. The fact that my equipment can even actually take the signals we're getting and turn it into voice. I mean,
Oh no, I mean,
that's pretty impressive. But I mean, if it's not,
that's
good enough for
amazing. I was just, and Allison's face will kind of get dark, and she'll kind of like pull everything off and kind of look over at.
Whoa, careful! You might break the freaking equipment. Jeez, crying out loud.
Yeah, Eddie, do you want to turn?
What if you never knew the dead person? Like my mom, like she died, but I was born.
That's all right. I mean, if she died when you were born, if that's true, then yeah, she ain't gonna be anywhere. I hate to tell
I
you.
mean, it's possible my dad murdered her, but I just know that, you know.
I like this one. I like this one. This one's funny right here. I like this one.
I wasn't kidding.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd like to try.
Yeah, sure. Your mom, okay. So it goes through the same process. Takes a little time. She's listening in. She, let me see. Okay. Yes. Nah, I'm sorry. I don't hear anything.
Of course, he could have lied, and she could be alive and just like left.
No, I don't hear anything. I think you might have been telling the truth. If I can't find nothing, I mean, it's possible. It's possible she's went international, but more than likely, I mean, I can keep doing the signal search. It takes a little longer if she went international, but
right.
More than likely, he was telling the truth.
I mean, you know, no big deal. It's not like I ever knew her anyway.
Right.
It's all right. I'm gonna go and have a cigarette. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna have to pay. You know what? You don't have to pay an extra 20. Just, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we'll switch over to the other guys who have been trucking through the desert. And it's baking hot on you. Even though it's November, it's still hot. And you guys see on the horizon, about 100 yards away or so, finally, like, what looks like this village of trailers.
Do we see the Humvees?
You do not see the Humvees. No. You guys kind of beelined out into the desert more, so you got away from the road. So you don't really have a good view of it. And you do know they're looking for you. And you do know that there was some other piece of equipment that they wanted to use, but for some reason didn't use it. Whatever that might be. But yeah, you arrive. And I will say, it just because it is easy and convenient, at the time when Edward steps out of one of these silver airline or Airstream trailers, kind of a dark look on his face, smoking a cigarette, over by this really tan dude with a crinkly face and a shotgun across his lap.
Well, he's not shooting them, so things must be all right. So,
Yes.
I mean, if we don't see the Humvees right now, then we'll probably make a break for it.
All right. Well, yeah.
They yell, like, they have robot dogs.
And birds
Loud
too.
Robot dogs and birds.
Oh, and guns.
Dead guns.
That part's like important.
The guy in the shotgun, the guy in the rock chair is just still not even doing anything, just like back and forth he goes. Doesn't even seem to pay any attention to any of that. You get a little closer, and then he points at the sign that says $20.
I respect his dedication.
He's got
Fumble
one
around, see if I got
job in
$20
life.
bucks.
Dan, roll a D100. 1 to 50, you've got the money. You do not have the money.
I'll see if I have it.
Okay, same thing. D100, 1 to 50, you'll have it. Nope.
Darn.
I know I don't.
Okay.
You do see Edward
I have
nearby, but
money.
he's off to himself. He's kind of smoking a cigarette.
Go talk to him. You all right, man?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. They're like doing some weird shit in there. Hey, if you want to go talk to a dead person.
Yeah, we didn't have any money. Wouldn't let us in.
Here.
I don't know, man. This week's been weird enough. I don't know if I want to go like talking to dead people, like
I don't know.
like dead, like
I don't know either, but they're coming.
Sounds kind of
Oh.
cool.
We probably gotta
So-
get going.
Maybe she can talk to us when we're dead. Yeah, let's go tell everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
want to go inside.
okay, so you all climb into the Airstream trailer, where this old woman has been talking with Allison and Levi about something. There's all like the curtain has been drawn in the back now, so there's just nothing but like computers and monitors and all sorts of different things, and you can see like the residue. Like maybe Allison still has one of the patches like on her temple that she didn't disconnect. And she's like, "Okay, by all means, everyone, just come in." Jeez.
I hate to put it this way, but like we're in deep shit.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, like
You guys
They're
know just
coming.
a bit too much.
they sent out the robot dog thing. You show them the battery. They have something that they were gonna put up in the air, but they didn't want to do it for some reason. They got Humvees. They got guns. They're already on the other side of the bridge. We got this thing. I'm trying to remember. Trying to remember your character's name, Joe. Something like
Nicholas.
Nicholas,
Yeah.
show her the thing.
Like, you look like a sciencey person. If I were to throw this,
She doesn't. She's got a Guns N'
well,
Roses
compared to,
t-shirt.
like,
She's got like
with all
the sleeves
the-
torn off of her leather vest, and she's got a big old like kind of like giant Disney princess skirt.
I guess more by like the things she's surrounded by with all the computers.
Oh, the
Right.
computer
Oh
equipment.
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Oh, she
So-
definitely seems really capable.
And
Yeah,
I'll show her
so-
the bee in a jar.
Yeah, when you mentioned the dog, she's like,
Oh, they got the Fidos working. That's great. That's great to hear they were working on those things for a while. Yeah.
No, it's bad.
What's
Yeah.
this thing do?
It's weird. There is this other endurance. I didn't even call it endurance or some other name, but it was, I can't remember the number. But anyway, all the dogs, they went extinct. It was crazy. Just like overnight, it was some weird some kind of disease that went rampant through canine physiology. It was a terrible, terrible thing. People were just up in arms, and so I guess they started making robotic dogs to replace them. Weird.
So if they had like this in the back of a Humvee and pulled it out, and then they like went to pull out some other thing out of the back of the Humvee, and then said like no, that's something worse.
I don't know. I'd have to know what they pulled out, but hey, we've got all sorts of things. They've got, and especially anything with surveillance. Let me tell you, they've got things that fly in the air and they take pictures.
Those are the ones
Robot
I'm worried
birds.
about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds rough for you guys.
Do you know what this thing does though?
What is it? Let me take a look. 1 second.
tips it off a little bit. A little bit of the ash like falls on top of the battery.
Oh boy. Yeah. Again, not really my department, but this is a very. Be careful with that thing. Don't go dropping that. You think grenades explode? You think dynamite's bad? That thing's like 10 times worse. Probably take out
Well,
this
this-
whole little village here. So don't
Well-
do that.
All right. Well, it might be our only way out.
No, you're not gonna destroy the village. Don't be ridiculous.
No, I mean not the village, just us.
Okay. But I've never seen him explode. That's not the full power source. It's special power source. Just be careful.
So, if we want to try to get out of this without having
Village?
to use that, do you know anything about these people that we might be able to use as leverage?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Like Lois and
She's here.
The corporal
Okay.
and any of those people.
Corporal? I don't know Corporal. I know Colonel. There's a Colonel, Chad. A
Colonel.
big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meh. I don't know these things.
I mean,
He's the one in our ROTC, and I'm which my brother.
well, I mean, the Colonel, he's just he's after as much as he can. He's got a mandate. He's got a lot of pressure on him. More information, more discovery, more tech, etc., etc. That kind of thing. I know the Soviets have finally, shut down and stuff, but that really was the main fuel for a lot of what was going on. So maybe things will die down a little bit without that, but I doubt it. If it ain't the Reds, it ain't the commies. It's gonna be somebody else soon enough.
Well, it's us now, I think.
No, okay. Don't flatter yourselves. You just stumbled into something you should have stumbled into.
I know, but it's
What do you
big
think
call for
they'd
us.
do to us if
What do you
they did?
There's
Well,
plenty
is there,
of
like-
there's plenty of holding cells and stuff and I know they were working with like memory stuff, wiping memories and planting memories, those types of things. Yeah, I did a little work on that one too, because it's all math and frequency. You start messing around with signals and things. It wasn't really my speed. I didn't really like it too much.
I wasn't there for the dimension stuff. Somebody have time to catch me up on some of that stuff, or
30-second download. There's lots of dimensions.
TLDR. You guys have been... Endurance has become untethered because Colonel Numbskull has been shifting too much. It's my guess, and so now it's shifting more frequently. We probably should be.
Dimension thing.
Like, is there a way to like choose to shift? Like, say there were a bunch of dudes with machine guns chasing you, and you wanted to go to a different place and not be in the one where the people with
Yeah,
guns were.
That's my train of thought too. Like if we left this one and waited for it to shift and then came back to a different endurance.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, some of you probably already have done that and not even realized it. Like I said, I mean, Levi, Allison, you guys are from the same. But Edward.
Is he from the super cancer one or super cancer one?
I don't know. Maybe it's possible, but I can tell you, at some point in time between when he was born and now, things changed because the Edward you see in front of you wasn't originally born in this dimension of endurance.
I'm still outside, not hearing this, or am I hearing this?
That's your call. Entirely up to you.
I think I'm not hearing this. I think
Okay.
I'm outside being sullen with my cigarettes.
Okay, fair enough.
But like, did you sit up here? Because this is like probably a dumb way to say it, but like, is this a soft spot sort of thing? Like, is there a way that we could tangibly do this and choose to do it, or you just gotta wait till like random things line up?
No, see, I picked this spot because idiots think I'm like talking to the dead and everything, and they'll believe in crazy mumbo jumbo, but they won't believe in science. It's really strange. So it's easy enough to just do this. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, got a little bit of a guilty conscience, and so if it means connecting people with those that they've lost for no reason other than they happen to be out of town the wrong weekend, then so be it. But no, you can't shit. It's the base that controls it.
Okay.
Well, at least they
So you can
did
find
control
people?
it. I don't know if
Are
they're still
you-
controlling it.
Are you like the same you across the board? Like if we found you in another dimension, would you still like have this set up pure?
Well, that's a hell of a question. There's an infinite amount of different dimensions. Some of them radically different. We found one where they weren't even humans. Like humans never evolved. You believe that? It was just dinosaurs and such. It was crazy. But we also found one was almost identical to us. And we've been looking for hours for a very long time. And each time we shift, we hope it's the shift that gets us home. And that's why they got them pylons set up. They read the signals coming in. There's various baseline frequencies we look for to get a match. And if we get a match, then we know that we've returned back to our own dimension, and we can try to re-anchor at that point. At least that's what they were trying to do when I left. But I haven't worked there for like 2 years.
So is it just like our area's gone? Like if we leave Endurance, then
Yeah, if
things are different?
you guys leave the pylon, that marks the perimeter. You head out of there, and then turn around and watch. You'll see a hell of a show, fireworks, that type of thing. And then it just looks like a big old storm with electricity, lightning, all that kind of stuff. And then, just like that, it dissipates, and there'll be something else here. It might be another city, but people didn't settle here in every other dimension. Sometimes the city's not here. Sometimes the city is here and it looks different. Sometimes your family's never moved here, and so you don't have anyone here that you know. And sometimes almost everything's the same, but maybe, the paint color in your room is a different color. It's just, you understand what infinite means.
Yeah.
So when you shift and you go into the other dimension, the place there, where does it go? Are you just swapping?
That is a great question, to which there are only theories. And never ask that question in the presence of the Colonel, because he doesn't give a shit. As far as he's concerned, the only endurance that's of any concern to him is this one. We could be doing harm to the other places, for all we know. We could be doing harm to space-time continuum nonsense. I don't know. It's not nonsense, but you know what I mean. We don't know. That's why we said we shouldn't do it. There was a whole group of us, 150 scientists, tech workers. We protested all this. We never wanted to do it. And he didn't listen. And now we're in this predicament. Now we got families who don't even know their brothers and sisters, don't even know their moms and their dads. Everything's all screwed up, mismatched. Friend you had when you were in 4th grade might be different now. Who knows?
You said you can find people with your get up here?
I can find them when they match your familial frequency, yeah.
Can you find someone for me?
Sure. You paid the money?
I'm looking for my older brother.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Okay. All right. So she goes through the whole process. Okay. And she's like, after a few minutes, oh, that was easy. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here. He's in Endurance. Also, you and the pretty boy and the girl, you're all from here. But your brother, he's somewhere in Endurance. I can't pinpoint it too perfectly. I can't pinpoint that perfectly. It's just more kind of a general broad radius. But yeah, he's here.
Am I able to listen in on him?
Sure, I can do that too. Takes a little longer, adjusts some dials and some knobs. You see some things, then she unplugs it, and out of the speaker, you hear like what almost sounds like kind of like snoring for a bit. You think he might be sleeping, and then you hear him like kind of freak out a bit as he wakes up, and you hear him like, no more of that, no more of that, and then he's out again. Well, that didn't sound good.
Yeah.
Allison will go over to Llewellyn while that's happening, and just sort of kind of put her arm around him and just say, I heard Mom.
That's weird.
Like a different version. But it was her.
Yeah, I guess that's good. But like, that's not, saying it's not real is like dumb because it is real, but like, I'm good without it. Like, it's hard enough to make peace. I don't need that.
If you do it though, she could make sure that we're the same frequency.
We're the same frequency. You're my sister, I don't need. I mean, no disrespect to science, but I don't need it.
That's
Okay.
fine. I respect
Just
that.
thought you should know.
I mean, if you want me to, I'll do it.
Oh no, just wanted you to know because I did it when you weren't here and I kind of felt bad, so I thought I should tell you.
Now, I'm glad you did, because like I wouldn't have.
Okay.
It's like you're the brave one. I'm glad you're here.
I don't need to talk to anybody, but I'm just curious if I'm from here or not.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That's easy enough to do. You sure you want to know?
I haven't changed much anything.
Okay. You guys have got some wonderful outlooks, the two of you. The one outside, though, I don't know. He didn't really take the news too well. You might want to keep an eye on him. He looks like he's on the verge of dying, so that probably didn't compound well with it. Kind of looks over at you, Steve, gets kind of a face on him. I hate to tell you, this is not your original dimension.
Yeah, that's all right. Didn't have any friends before and got some now.
So
Fair
we don't
enough.
know what happens when we move. Like the version of him flopped, and did they like trade dimensions, or did one of them like wink out?
What happened is that, so it tends to happen most frequently. If anyone gets swapped, it's because they're outside of the confines, the perimeter, the pylon perimeter. And if they're outside, when the things shift, then it shifts. And then sometimes the inverse happens. Somebody was already out of town, and endurance comes back, and they come back to town. And they come back to a completely different town than they expected. That's why every now and then things aren't quite what you remember, you know? Just the slightest things are a little different. Person you might have thought was dead or moved away, no, they've been here the whole time. Other cases, it might be, oh, we thought we were one type of mascot with a high school, but now we're a different one. What the hell did that happen? That type of thing. You know, we thought Mrs. Tate was teaching English Lit in our junior year, but instead it was Miss Ammons. And we're like, I thought she was Mrs. Tate this whole time. They're like, no, she got married. Her name's Miss Ammons. I'm like, when the hell did she get married? She got married like 10 years ago. Where you been? Those types of things happen.
Well, unless anybody's got some
so
different
their
ideas.
goal is
Okay.
for us to get back, right?
My goal. I don't have a goal for you guys at all, so.
Well, I mean, that's why they're still running the experiments and stuff, right? They're trying to find our home.
I mean, that us,
The
broadly
world.
speaking, not us.
They're trying to find endurance to match back up. Yeah. And with the increased regularity of these shifts, my guess is there's something going on. Either they lost control, and now endurance is jumping on its own, or, I don't know. Could be something else. I haven't been
I
back
feel like our
in a long time.
I feel like our only answer is to like get out.
Just want to say, if you guys leave, I respect that. I respect that. I don't know when the next dust storm's going to be.
What else are we gonna do? The people who control the place are after us.
Yeah.
Do
Unless
we
you know
try to
something
But
new.
we're
run?
kind of separated.
do we
then,
get caught?
So the base is kind of operate, even though they're military, they're kind of operating on their own since endurance is.
Yeah, well, the colonel, he's got his own prerogative for certain things.
We're not beating the military. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm-
but I mean, if we try to dip, I mean, we got to find a reason for like all our families and stuff, for those that we want to take to
Yeah.
be
I
out
can't-
too.
How?
Is my younger brother from this dimension?
Well, let me take a look here. Let me take a listen. Now, all I can tell you right now is whether or not the familial frequency is found within the confines of endurance, outside the confines of endurance, or not at all. That's all I can tell you. So
Okay.
unless he's here, I can't match it up. So I do, in fact, detect another signal outside of Endurance. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not your same brother. Maybe he went 45 minutes up the road somewhere else.
It's complicated.
You have no idea. You should see my notes all over the place.
We saw them. They were very confusing.
Oh no, that was just like the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, still confusing.
So listen, I don't want to beat around the bush here, but if you bring in hell to my doorstep, I don't think I'm gonna get in a whole lot of trouble for them. They ain't gonna do nothing to me. And if they do, well, I'm an old lady, so it's okay. But
We do probably need to go. That way we don't drag him here.
Yeah.
Or we can go.
I just don't really know what to do at this point.
We can go back up to that cabin and figure out our next steps.
Is there anything that you know that we could try to use against them? Anything that we could kinda
blackmail,
use?
like black? No. I mean, no, not really. I mean, I can tell you how to get into the fort, but I don't know what good that's gonna do you.
Blow it
Maybe
up.
the idea of like just
Yeah.
stepping out and
I'm gonna look
stepping
at
back in.
my. How we get into the fort?
We could blow up the fort. Would that be good?
I don't know. There's a lot of things that go boom in there. That's for sure.
I don't really want to blow up the fort.
There's a lot of good people there. Not everyone
Yeah.
there is an asshole.
But also, like,
Yeah.
things are already untethered, right? So if we just blow up the fort, we could still keep shifting willy nilly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I would probably just, I don't know. That's probably a bad idea.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I have a feeling my brother's in the fort.
if we want to try to get him, there's that.
What if we died in an accident?
So
Our
Edward will stick
explosive.
his head in. Hey, are we running for our lives yet? I'm out of
Here in a
smoke.
second. What if we died in an accident with this here explosive thing? Like rig it up to, but then we're not there. You know,
Whoa.
we died.
Maybe. Kind of want to have it as a last resort or something.
Yeah, I mean, if they come for us, we can chuck it at them. And
I don't think they know that we have it, so I don't know if they see a random explosion from it, if that'll.
I mean, I imagine
From
that
off.
thing's probably got to be accounted for pretty quickly.
Maybe.
Well, like at the very least, we should probably get moving somewhere so we don't bring hell on this nice lady.
yeah. Do y'all have a car we could borrow?
She kind of looks at you like, you really think you're that pretty? Roll a charm.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Oh,
Oh,
Want to push that?
I'm gonna push that.
Okay.
You got shame?
I got me a success.
Okay.
I do mean like by borrow, I mean you're probably not getting it back.
we did have a reroll also. a
That's
couple of
true.
those.
We did have a reroll. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I
Don't take
use
the
that?
condition. Yeah. Don't take the
All
condition.
right.
Okay. All right. You've reached my heartstrings, especially the one outside. I don't know. Keep an eye on that one. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. And she's rummaging around. She throws some keys. It's a station wagon right down there.
Nice.
It ain't sexy, but it's reliable.
Give him to Llewellyn.
If you head out the northwest side, there's a little dirt path. Drive slowly. Be careful. But eventually you can get out towards the summer camp.
All right.
And if you want to get out of here, just northeast of the summer camp, east of the ridge. One of the pylons is over there. Just look for the big old radio tower. It ain't just a radio tower, though. Underneath, whole different ball of wax. It's where they store them big old robots. They come out, like vacuum like there's some kind of merry maids.
Yeah.
I think they've got some kind of like service tunnels underneath too. They were trying to build those back in the day so that they can move more easily without alerting anyone in the public. I don't know if they finished them. They used to connect all the different pylons and try to get them back towards the fort.
Maybe that's another way to try to find our cousin.
So, I mean, if there's underground tunnels we could sneak through, that's definitely a way in.
Oh boy.
Cool.
We're full
Well,
of goodies.
Thanks there, Lupe. This is a lot.
No problem. Pleasure talking.
So our answer to how to deal with this nonsense is to just double down and take secret underground tunnels into the base.
Well, our cousin's still missing.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, family. So yeah, we double down. Okay.
And, you know,
Done.
maybe while we're in there, we could see if we can find a way to put a brakes on this thing. Just stop.
I don't know.
Lock
Are
us
we
in.
scientifically smart enough to put the brakes on this?
I have no idea.
I think the problem with leaving is if we leave, then when we come back, we'd have to try to figure everything out all over again
Yeah. Okay.
because we know what we know.
I mean,
For
who
this
knows what we come back
endurance.
to?
Right.
Maybe there's no
I mean,
city.
so, well, if we leave, is that committing to a different dimension? Because we're
Yes.
moving dimensions with this.
Mhm.
So
It's literally committing
whatever
to a
we walk
dimension,
out into-
and you don't know. Well, it's not committing to a different dimension. It's committing to this one, and you know that this dimension that you're in, like there are cities, like you can go to, like Steve and your parents just went to Denver for crying out loud. You know, what I mean, like there's other places it's civilized, everything's fine. It's one of those fairly close to what you guys probably originated from. So like you could leave and just live in this dimension, but it does, like Levi was asking, was like, what do you do with your family? How do you get them out of the town? All that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I don't
So
know that we
I guess that's what I was
can.
confused about. Is it always the normal dimension outside of
It's whatever
Endurance.
dimension
So
and
whatever
whatever
it's
it's
current
currently
you
sitting
shift
on.
into.
Mm-hmm. So
It
whatever
is
they have.
what's outside of here.
If you've heard of the little show from the 80s, long before you were born there, Joe, called Quantum Leap. That was more time, but Sliders is probably the better one because you went from dimension to dimension.
We're like in a
Time
pocket.
first.
We're like in a fixed pocket that's just moving.
Yes, exactly.
right?
And once we leave the
Okay.
pocket, we're in wherever that is.
She will say as you guys are leaving, like, if you guys do go inside,
Well, are all of the pockets shifting? Like
they don't know.
If we leave,
All they
don't
know
come
is
back?
this particular endurance. They don't know what happens to the other ones. They don't know. They have no care for it. That's what a lot of people are like. We don't know what harm we're doing to like the existence of the universes, the multiverse. But the Colonel doesn't give a shit. And he's just like, whatever. The only one
Okay.
only one that I care
I get
about is
that
this
now.
one. So, but as you guys are leaving, she'll say, "Listen, if you want to leave, it's a nice place. I heard, this is a nice world. Soviets, they're done. That's good news. So, I heard the new Batman movie's pretty good. So, I mean, it seems like a decent time. So if this is where you want to get off, this is your stop. It seems like a halfway decent one. But if this isn't where you hop off, and you guys do decide to go racing inside to find your cousin or whatever, your brother, whatever it is. I had one friend inside. He can help you if you can find him. That is. His name is Michael Chandler. He's an old man. Yeah, an old man. He's a good-looking man, but yeah, he's got a daughter right around your age. Should be fine.
He's the one
Dallas
that's
is dead.
missing.
Yeah, that's her
Yeah.
name. Sweetheart, that one gorgeous. What a looker, and smart too. Oh my goodness.
Also a pile of sand.
Yeah, she's
I'm sorry. What?
yeah, she's the one I was telling you about, where she turned to dirt. Like we got pictures.
I see. But which Alice was it?
You'd have to tell us that.
Well, unless he's here, I can't do it. I need a baseline.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's still working
Well,
there.
We have the ID, or
Yeah, we have. Well, no, we had a
you-
picture of it.
Yeah,
the picture.
because it
yeah.
dissolved.
Yeah.
Alice
yeah,
had it.
that's right.
That was when Chuck did the really clever thing and like dusted the sand away like first. That was really smart. I was like, that's
Every now and then. Every now and then.
Yeah, we can maybe show that.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Just tell him Lupe sent you.
All right.
I'm excited with this news that if I leave the pocket, then the pocket's what's angry at me legally.
That's
So,
fair.
Yeah,
fair.
the
I mean-
pocket is what's mad at all of us.
yeah. But I can't do that without my family. So that's my character's goal at this point, is to get my older brother out and then grab the younger brother and my parents and then just walk out and fingers crossed it doesn't suck.
Yeah, man. Space-time law be damned.
Yeah. I feel like infinity's too many times to roll the dice if we get home. So might as well hop ship.
Probably work a D100. It's like, oh, you got the lava verse. Sorry, that's a shame.
Oh darn.
When
that one.
the real question is
New seed.
New seed, yeah. I was just thinking, when are we going to come across Scott Bakula if we do that?
That's a fair point. I don't know.
Joe doesn't get that either.
No,
That's
he
okay.
doesn't.
I don't know what that is.
Some Jerry O'Connell. Or
It's a
O'Donnell.
name.
Sorry, O'Donnell. Not O'Connell.
Donald.
Okay, so what we'll say is, you guys leave the trailer. You get into the station wagon. You collect Edward. The sun's starting to go down, and presumably you guys take those mountain roads that she told you about. And we'll end it there for tonight, and you guys can figure out where you want to do next time in a couple weeks.
I did have one more question I wanted to ask.
Sure.
Ask her.
Okay.
Is why what was the other lady's name? The one that's chasing us.
Lois
Was her Lois.
Phillips.
Is there any particular reason that she'd be so obsessed with contact alien stuff?
Contact alien stuff. What do you mean?
There's a book in her office.
Oh, contact like the okay, yeah. No, I think her father gave it to her.
Okay.
He's gone.
So nothing related to like what we're experiencing here, probably.
Oh, you want to know if they're aliens?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
She kind of gives you like a grin. Yeah, they're aliens. But the better question is, are they already here? They're not already here, but they've been here and they've looked and everything, and then they're like, why the hell would they stay here? Because we got a shithole planet. And they left.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we got all sorts of
Well, that's
signals
cool.
from way out in the universe. And they ain't all natural. Okay.
Okay. Well, that was a lot of help.
Sure. So she bids you guys adieu. She gives you guys a couple stogies for the road. Like, maybe this would cheer your
Nice.
friend up.
Yeah,
And,
I'm sure Edward will dig that.
You guys get in the car. You head onto the road. And we'll go ahead and stop for the week. And let's do our XP questions really fast. So we're getting near the end here. All right.
Ever curious what's going on? Feel free to do it.
Too old in chat reminded us no one asked about the meat.
No one did ask about the meat. That's true.
Oh, we
Just-
brought it up, but we didn't ask about it.
It's just meat from the sentient meat dimension. I
Yeah.
mean,
Or maybe
Yeah.
it's the aliens.
maybe.
It's it's meat
still- we
from the
can ask
dimension
the
where humans don't
contact.
exist. They didn't evolve, but meat did somehow.
Yeah.
I feel like we can ask those questions to the guy we meet on the inside once we get
Sure.
in. And he's probably going to have more current information on what's going on, too.
All right, XP. Did you participate in the session? Did your problem or relationships get you into trouble? It's up to you guys to figure that out. I think, yeah.
I mean,
You guys
I'm
were getting.
perpetually in trouble.
Yeah, I think you guys are all in a lot of trouble right now. Were you broken? Forced to take a scratch? No one broke, right?
No.
It's getting rough, though. It's getting harder and harder. I think I might get somebody soon. Did you put yourself in harm's way to resolve the mystery? Llewellyn, Nicholas, please go ahead. Definitely take that for charging.
Wrestling robot dogs and
Yeah.
ripping out their heart.
100%. And did
Mortal
you learn
Kombat
something
finishing
new?
them.
No, not really. No, I don't think so.
Not a thing.
This wasn't like the architect
yeah.
scene from The Matrix Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you can all get XP for that. Okay. Let's do some closing plugs. Then, Bert, what you got going on for the rest of the week?
Well, I'm taking Tuesday off. It's my wedding anniversary, 17 years.
Congrats.
Happy
And
anniversary.
thanks. And Friday we'll have Talisman Adventures. And that's it for the week, really. Sunday will be maybe an unboxing. Got a whole bunch of new stuff in the mail. Maybe going through that. Find these at twitch.tv/SteamSteelMurder or check out the podcast at BlueMagic, BLUMAGIK.com.
Awesome. And we just got raided, so thank you for the raid, Vorpal Tales. We're actually closing it up pretty soon here. We're just kind of closing it down, but we'll carry it forward and find somewhere else to bring everybody. Playing some things from the flood tonight. Let's see, that was Bert. Chuck, tell all these brand new
Chuck.
people who just joined our channel who you are and where your stuff is.
Yeah, I'm Chuck, Defenders of Kobold. This week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, you can check, a good majority of us on Defenders of Kobold is Bert is running us through some of that one thing. The name's completely escaped me.
Brindlewood Bay.
Brindlewood Bay.
I forgot about
That's
that.
it. Yeah,
Brindlewood
Wednesday.
Bay.
Golden Girls, Murder She Wrote kind of meets Cthulhu kind of stuff. It's going to be a blast.
Nice.
I don't think I've got anything Thursday. No, nothing Thursday. My calendar's not even right. Yeah, nothing Thursday. Friday, we'll be back 9 p.m. Central for more All Fear the Ishtar, our Alien campaign. And then this Saturday is DCC Day. So we'll be running some Sea Queen Escapes over on twitch.tv/Goodman Games Official, also 9 p.m. Central.
Awesome. Jeremy, Plutecast?
Yeah. When I can wrangle my friends to do so, we like to talk about comics and other nerdy stuff. PLEWD, Plutecast. Why not?
Awesome. And then as for Melissa and I right here, Adventures in Lollygagging, we play on Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Mondays, we alternate between Things from the Flood and Alien. Next Monday, we're going to be starting our new Alien chapter. We've been running an Alien campaign, Cinders of Heaven, for several months now. We've been doing it little chapters here and there with different crews. We're starting our Marine crew, our Colonial Marine crew, next Monday. So we get to meet all these crazy lunatics. Levi, or I should say Chuck, Jeremy, and Melissa are in that game. Then Friday we do Delta Green, and we've been playing Impossible Landscapes campaign, which is a new long-term campaign that Delta Green published this year. I think the physical copies are still on the way, but the PDF is available. And then on Saturday we play Worlds Without Number. So thank you for those of you who hung out tonight. Thanks for the bits and the subs. Thank you for the raid of Vorpal Tales. I think what we'll go ahead and do is find someone to raid to carry all you forward.
It's like TT2KB's on.
Is TT2KB up? Whoop.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and get that up. Let's see. Oh, they're playing the video games. Looks like. Let's see. Let's see. What do they got? Who else is up? Let's do the initiative order. Looks like let's do the initiative order. That's what I got up. So I'm going to go ahead and start that raid. So if you want to hang tight, click the button to go along with the raid. Otherwise, I'm going to throw us in the end screen so you don't have to see us while that raid loads up. But have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Watch everyone.
Bye.